In a Boston suburb, British Museum director Charlie Thompson approaches bookstore clerk Emma Harwood while she is reading at a cafe, pretending he has read her book. Emma seemingly ignores him and he apologizes for making her uncomfortable. Emma explains that she is deaf in one ear and had not heard him. It's a perfect opening, effortlessly charming, laced with low-stakes embarrassment. Emma, played by Zendaya, with a warmth that makes what comes later all the more devastating, doesn't let Charlie off the hook easily. Instead, she offers him something quietly profound, a second chance. She asks him to start over, to introduce himself properly, as if the stumble never happened. Charlie obliges, they go on a date, something real begins. This start over moment isn't just a cute narrative beat, it's a thematic contract the film will cash in brutally at the end. Remember it, the couple is now engaged, living in Boston, building a life together that looks from the outside essentially perfect. One night, while strolling through the city, they witness their wedding DJ, Pauline, smoking heroin in a public park. The moment unsettles them, and they turn to their wedding party, maid of honor, Rachel, and best man Mike, to discuss whether Pauline should be fired. Emma makes a point she clearly believes. Everyone has done something bad. No one is clean. And so, almost casually, the table begins confessing. The confessions escalate in a way that is equal parts darkly funny and genuinely disturbing. Mike admits he used his ex-girlfriend as a human shield during a dog attack in Mexico. Rachel confesses she once locked her mentally disabled neighbor inside an abandoned RV overnight. Charlie reveals he cyberbullied a classmate so relentlessly that the boy's entire family relocated to escape him. And then Emma speaks. Emma drops a shocking truth about her past. At 15, she planned to commit a school shooting. She explains that she had told Charlie she was born deaf, but she actually lost her hearing when she fired a gun too close to her ear while practicing in the forest. Emma is quick to contextualize. She abandoned the plan after a mass shooting hit close to home and shattered her community. The experience, rather than leading her down a darker path, galvanized her into gun control advocacy. She became, in a very real sense, someone who redirected genuine darkness into something meaningful. But the damage to the dinner table and to Charlie is done. Rachel reveals that her cousin Samantha was paralyzed in a shooting. What was already a tense confession becomes immediately viscerally personal. The room doesn't just hold Emma's past, it now holds someone else's wound. Emma's nightmares grow more frequent, filled with shooting imagery, while Charlie's paranoia intensifies, fed by gun-related items found at home and at his workplace. Meanwhile, Alana Haim's Rachel, who was already the film's most combustible supporting character, withdraws from Emma entirely. Rachel declines the wedding invitation, though Charlie eventually convinces her to attend. It's a small victory that feels hollow. You can convince someone to show up, you can't convince them to forgive, and then, because Borgley apparently decided one catastrophic secret wasn't enough, the film detonates a second bomb. An awkward run-in with Misha leaves Charlie rattled. He frantically reassures her that she would love Emma, a line that casts a shadow over the couple's trust. Misha is not nothing. Misha is the other thing. Everything that has been quietly building, Emma's secret, Charlie's guilt, Rachel's grief, the social pressure of performing joy in front of an audience, ignites simultaneously. In the bathroom, Emma overhears Misha discussing a school shooting with another guest and pulls her into the room to confront the situation. Misha, sensing trouble, blames Charlie by claiming he kissed her first, a revelation that shocks Emma. Emma was already navigating the fallout of her own past. Now she discovers her fiancé has his own secret she didn't know about. Two people who were theoretically being fully honest with each other were both in different ways holding something back. Charlie makes a clumsy attempt to address the tension with a heartfelt speech about his love for Emma, apologizing for the affair with Misha and urging guests to stop the gossip. The scene erupts as Blake confronts and attacks Charlie, leaving Emma to navigate the fallout. Emma decides to leave rather than cast doubt on the marriage in front of everyone. After a troubling night, a bloodied and despondent Charlie returns to the pair's apartment in search of Emma. When he cannot find her, he heads to their favorite diner alone. Soon, Emma arrives and sits opposite him. They reintroduce themselves as if meeting for the first time, and for a moment they share a hopeful smile before the weight of their recent history settles between them. Borgley refuses to tell you which it is. The hopeful smile appears, and then, crucially, the film notes that the weight of their recent history settles between them. He doesn't give you a clean, they're going to be okay. He gives you the hope and the gravity at the same time, and he makes you sit with both. The film's deeper argument, running underneath all of the dark comedy and social horror, is about moral symmetry and the impossibility of a clean ledger. Every character at that confession dinner had done something genuinely terrible. Charlie's cyberbullying drove a child's family from their home. Rachel locked a disabled person overnight in an abandoned vehicle. Mike used a woman as a shield against an animal attack. Emma planned, but never executed, a school shooting. The film never ranks these actions by severity. It presents them with equivalent directness and watches the characters immediately begin ranking them anyway. Rachel, who committed her own act of profound cruelty, becomes the one most horrified by Emma's revelation. The hypocrisy is pointed, it's not subtle, but it's also not simple, because Rachel's cousin was paralyzed in a shooting, and that wound is real regardless of the inconsistency. The final diner scene asks, can two people who have seen behind each other's narrative, who have glimpsed the unedited version, still choose each other? And is choosing each other again with full knowledge more meaningful than the original choice? Or is it just a more complicated form of the same self-deception? Borley doesn't answer. He gives you a smile, a shadow, and the credits.